Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's stream. Sorry for the slight delay. Windows 11, I hate it. It just keeps crashing everything. So hopefully everyone can hear me and see me okay, and we're all coming through nice and clear. I'm just gonna turn it down in my ears a second. Ooh. If everyone can hear me okay, and I'm coming through nice and clear. Brilliant. So we are here tonight live. It is another month, which means it's another monthly update on Mimic, my currently in development survival horror multiplayer game. So not only going to show you a bit more about the game, show you what stuff we're working on, but we'll also be working on some stuff too, live in chat, more so than anything. Okay. But obviously feel free to ask questions you want to ask about the game, as much as we can do. But yeah, it's been a week of progress, but not much progress. There's been a lot of like fixes and things like that, trying to get matchmaking to work. I think I've got it there. Because the original plan was to have open beta in place. Well, now, closed beta, sorry, like now, but it hasn't worked out that way because of matchmaking bugs and things like that. So I think I've got it figured out, but it's unknown whether or not we'll hit a closed beta before Christmas now. It may be looking like January for closed beta access. But I'm hoping to be able to do like friends and family testing before Christmas to sort of test out the waters a little bit and make sure all the buttons are linked to the right places. But yeah, so if you haven't never seen me, I'll update my on my game Mimic. My game Mimic is a online multiplayer survival horror game, which is basically like Among Us with alien isolation elements. So you've got social deduction, where you're trying to work out who is the alien amongst you and who the double agent is, and you're all trying to get off the ship as it is flying towards the sun. So a lot of the work that has been going on in the past month has been a lot of UI stuff, little fixes here and there. As I say, matchmaking has been a bit of a headache the past month, but there's some new features to it too. Been working on the design document a little bit more, working on the pitch document a little bit more, and all that stuff. And this is a project that I do want to talk about and share a lot more with you as we go through it. So that doesn't mean I do eventually want to get around to and talking candidly about, like, as long as I'm able to, like legally able to, talk to you about like the pitching side of the game and publishing it and getting the game investors and things like that. I'm talking about the hardships and highs and lows that it has to go through to get there. But yeah, so I'm trying to explain as much as I can for the whole process that I have been doing so far and being quite open with it. So the game is as such. You may see this main screen here has got a slight update. Let me just turn off the background music. There you go. I've got a slight update with the UI, make it a bit more uniform because we had like mixture of fonts. We were trying out different fonts. Now settling on it and trying to set on like, what should it all be capitalized? Should it not be capitalized? What kind of spacing should we have between each button? Things like that. How could we like make it more readable for people to see? And we also got this down here, which was our news page, which is like an RSS feed coming straight from the blog from the website the game has. So yeah, a couple of things as well. I took out the optimization part where you can not the customization part where you can customize your emblem or badge, and it kind of felt like kind of useless. It's a lot of work for not much payoff. So for now, it's not in there, and it's not a focus on the development side. But if say you've got your friends list there, we've got my friends and family of developers and friends and all that going in there. But that also opens up the UI for I won't do it now because we're not in standalone. It will open up the UI for the I've broken now for the current platform that you're on. So this is Epic Game Studios. It will bring up the friends list from Epic Games. Hi everyone in chat. Hi Mesh. Hi Jason. Nanate Boxed. Hello. So yeah, we'll go into the lobby screen. You can see the big change that's happened there. So one of the big changes here is obviously we're now representing the player as an actual character in the screen. So you'll be able to like click on one of these and it'll bring up your friends list, and then you'll be able to pick your friends from the list and away you go. And when they turn up into the room, it should place their bodies in the space here. Now, one thing I'm going to work on tonight, which I think we should be a good one to work on, is the character selector. So whilst you're in the screen, you can choose what character you want to play as. This felt like Natebot. Oh, there we go. This felt like a necessary need for a couple of things. Because it's not just making games, remember. It's not just like the hard bit of actually making a game. It's actually the design element to it as well. That is quite difficult. You want to make sure you get that right. And so with an online multiplayer social deduction game, you've got to really think about, well, how can the player discern one player from another? Yeah. With a game like Among Us, it's really easy because everyone's a different colour. We can't really do that in this because it's more realistic unless I give them different coloured jumpsuits, but it kind of looks weird if we go around with a giant bright pink jumpsuit. So there are slightly different jumpsuit colours, but they're not much different than you see. But the main difference is the characters. And so I needed somewhere or somehow for the players to put a face to the name, essentially. So as they're going through playing the game, they'll see the character's face and they see the player's name associated face. So if I see Jennifer here walking around the thing, I'll know who Jennifer's playing as. Yeah. Okay, this is the default character, Jesse. That loads up and obviously you don't pick nothing. So somehow in here we've got to fit a UI for us to do character section. We'll probably try and do that tonight. And see how far we get with that. There's a rule set thing in here. This isn't hooked up yet, but the idea being is in a private session with your friends, you can go into the rule set and customize the rules that you want for your game. So you can change the Android count, the Android's walk speed, whether it has a berserk mode, which is basically if he sees you, he'll run at you, not just walk towards you. You've got different map rules, player rules. These aren't working. We can probably fix this too. But there are other hookups here as well. So we can change the players' sort of abilities. We can change the mimic's abilities. All that's in customize the game to however you want. And some of them are quite funny little things you can do, which make the game harder or more chaotic. Yeah, those sort of things. One of the things that we've added to this game, or will be adding to this game as well, is Twitch support. So if you're playing on Twitch, you can have your Twitch chat interact with the game and vote for people who should be attacked by the Android. So people can actually get involved in the game that way too. Yeah, I'll just jump in and start a session. So I just won't work with it because we're not in the bloody standalone. Never mind. I'll just go to the actual map. But the game is pretty much there. There's not really much left to do apart from just like insert animations, sound effects, those sort of things. And then just a year of polish, basically. I'm still debating whether or not it will actually come out next year. I'm hoping it will. But we'll see. But if it gets pushed back, it gets pushed back. I want to make sure it comes out right, not fast. So a lot of the work that I imagine that will go into the polishing phase of it. It's going to be like lots of bug fixes, polishing, onboarding as well is super important. This was an issue that I see with a lot of online multiplayer games, is the onboarding part is very, very iffy. So it's something I'm going to try and figure out a solution to in this game. It's not going to be perfect because it's hard to do. And what I mean by onboarding, by the way, is that when you get a new player join your game, how do you teach them how to play the game? Okay, how do you teach them to play an online multiplayer game? And I went into Dead by Daylight actually this week to see what their onboarding was like, and basically it's non-existent. You just get thrown to the deep end. You have like no idea what you're doing. So it's like, right, okay, well they don't explain nothing. So we need to improve that. We need to make that better. So yeah, we're going to work on that as well and bring that into there. So Thomas, this has been about a year in development. You know, the ship, we'll say. And it's been mostly me on my own. Yeah, Mesh. Some of the animations I got Luke do some for the animations for the channel. And I've actually been working with some game development students in a local college to do some Foley work for the game as well. And I've got some local students as well doing some voice acting for it as part of their work experience, trying to get them involved and get them a credit in the game that gets released. So one of the big things we're trying to do with this game, and with the studio in general, is I do want to be pushing for more like internships and getting people involved in game production prior to them like going into industry. So looking at students who are currently doing college or university courses and saying like, hey, do you want to get some experience? We'll do on-site training and on-project training and involvement in the actual project itself, and you get credit on the game too. So that's something we're looking forward to do in 2024. It's one of the big things that we're pushing for. And hopefully if this works well locally, I do want to expand this out globally. So being able to offer work experience for people like you guys in chat who want to join in projects. Probably won't be this one by the time it comes round to it, but it'll probably be the next game. It could, who knows, it could be this game, I don't know. But I want to eventually get to a point where I can offer to people like online, say like, hey, do you want a game credit to add to your CV? You can help work on this game. You'll get some training on the job, and also get to actually have some impact on what's going on here, rather than just going around fetching teas and coffees for people. You can actually do some work on the project. So that's something that is in the works of 2024, and something we're pushing forward to do. So that's the aim. So we're trialing it out with this game currently. And it may be something that we try and do with the next game more earnestly, but we'll see how it all goes. For some reason, Windows 11 and my computer have not been agreeing today, so this is why it's taking a long time to load up. It's been an absolute pig. But happy to answer any questions you may have about this if you want. I can talk to you about the publishing plan for it, or the current publishing plan for it. So the game is, as I say, mostly done. It just needs testing and fine tuning, and obviously got just polishing work there. But the core foundation of the game is done. The idea is that we're going into a closed beta. Well, now in January. It was going to be this month, but it'd probably be January now. Leading to a 1 week open beta in February for Steam's Next Fest. So for that 1 week, we're aiming for that week to be an open beta. So for 1 week, you can join the game for free, play the game for free, test it, give us feedback, and yeah, we'll crack on with it. And then taking the game to GDC to try and search for investors to help us push the game out to market. And you need help pushing the game out to market because marketing is very expensive, but also if you need things like localization, porting, things like that, it can really, really help putting the game out there. Yes, this is stuff that you can all try and get done yourself, but obviously time is money. And in the run-up to the game's release, I'll be going to exhibitions, trying to take the game to the shows, and that's not easy to do that and work on the game at the same time. So you've got a few things to worry about over there. Currently, the whole game is made in Blueprint, Thomas, but we can go into C++, and we may do at some point once we get to optimization stage. At the moment, though, the game runs pretty well. It runs at 60 FPS for the most part, on like max settings. So we'll see how it performs as we get closer to the end, especially as we start putting in more details into environments and things like that. Yes, so the game is available will be available on Steam and Epic Game Store, and you can wishlist it. And please do. Wishlisting does help out a lot, especially when I go into those investor meetings at GDC and other events, like domestic ones. I can like show them like the numbers, say like this how many people wishlisted it, this how many people supported on Kickstarter, because we will be doing a Kickstarter campaign, help get the game to its finish line. And yeah, all that really does help. So please do wishlist it and share it. We'll be doing a harder wishlisting campaign ad campaign once we get into a closed beta, because then we'll have footage of people playing the game, and it makes it a lot easier to show off when you see people actually playing it. But yeah. So yeah, as we normally do on these monthly updates, is I'll give you a tour of the level. Talk about what's changed. Level-wise, not much has really changed. It's mostly character stuff. By the way, performance that you see in editor is never what it's like in actual packaged game. So if it seems slow in editor, that's okay. Testing it runs 60 FPS fine in the thing. So don't fret about that. Do you plan on console release after the PC release? Yes. Depending on how much funding we get, and depends on how many people I can hire and things like that, and offload porting to. I would ideally like to release it all at the same time, but failing that, yes, console is in the talks for this game definitely. Oh, that's my name tag. That should be off. So, I'll give you a little tour of the Icarus, this spaceship. The game features lots of quite unique elements to it. Like, you've got dynamic music system to it. We've got dynamic jump scares. We've got the whole social deduction element in like this scary atmosphere type thing. It's quite neat. There's a whole system in there that I'm not going to talk about yet, because until the game is out, it'll be a nice little surprise. But there's a little thing going on in there that is something that no other game has done before. So we will see how well that goes if we make it to the beta. But the idea of the game is that you and your teammates have got to get off the ship, and you have to complete the objectives that you see up top left. These are randomized each time you play. And oh, I thought that was him then. There's an android walking about the place, and then there's you. And you could be a human, could be a mimic, or you could be an agent. Agents are humans that just have secret objectives to complete, and they have to ensure no one leaves the ship but them. The mimic wants to leave the ship, and the crew do not want the mimic to leave with them. So we've got to work out who to trust and who not to trust and let them board. So the crux of the loop is that you'll be going around the ship at first to find security key cards like this one, and upgrading your security so you have access to more of the ship. You can get around a lot of the ship without security access, like using vents like these, but obviously it's a lot easier to run away from things if you can just open doors. So now I've got security level 2. And we go through here, and the map is, a lot of the work is going into the map design to make it a bit more unique and not your standard sci-fi horror map. So there are different elements at play here, and that's all on purpose, so that when the players navigate in the ship, it makes it a very clear indication of where they're going and what they're seeing. So here we've got like the cold room, like the coolant room, where it's all broken out and leaked everywhere, and it's freezing cold in here. And there's like an effect on the camera. Don't know if you'll see that come through or not. And the android that's walking around the ship, you can program him to attack other players. So you click on like one of these things here, go to maintenance, you'll see the players' names all appear here, and you can add your ballots to it. And if he gets more than 3 votes, then now it will come and attack you if you've got the highest one. So yeah, we'll log out of that. But when you're playing on Twitch and you enable it, you can, in your private game, you can have Twitch chat also vote ballots on different player names, and they can influence who the android attacks. That's what they'll be going on for. So yeah. Hi Matthew. Hi Ethan. Thanks for the wish listing. Please everyone wish list it. It does help out a lot. So the dynamic music system is pretty neat because the game looks at how you're playing the game and will change based upon what you're doing. So if you're just walking around the map slowly like I am right now, it'd be this sort of music. I don't know if you can hear that clearly or not. But when you're running around fast, it will change to more like heartbeat, pumping music. Anyway, let's try and do some activities here. So I've got to find a valve wheel, I find empty energy cell, and find empty gas canister. So you've got to find these things, they're all over the ship. So here's an empty power core, energy core, yep. I've got to complete an objective, and I've got to go charge this up. And if you look at the compass, there is a little icon on there, which is obviously got a default placeholder on it. That will show you which way to go. And we'll probably add a little numbered indicator to indicate how far away it is too. So you go over to this thing over here. And we take the fuel core, and we now have to take it to the ship. The problem is I don't have the security access to get to the ship. I need a security access 3 to get to there. But fortunately, I can just drop this. Oh yeah, bit bug. We'll fix that. There's a security card somewhere here. Yep, there you go. And I can upgrade my security through this door over here to the max security level. Okay. All the players have the same objectives, by the way. So yeah, I don't know why it does leave one behind, but anyway. So yeah, you all work together on the objectives. So obviously with like more of you with them, it shouldn't take too long to do. And so up here we've got like the greenery room, like the greenhouse, horticultural room. Yeah. So I've got to take this power core to the ship. I'll take it to the ship. Which is there. And we've just got walking board. Insert it, done. And there you go, completed. So now I've only got 2 left to do. I've got the engine coolant and reoxygenate the shuttle. So I won't do them all because I'm going to waste a lot of time on that. I'm going to try and find the android at least a little bit. He's around here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Oh, very jump. He got me. Oh yeah, I broke the animation. We are working on animation for him to throw me across the room. That does work. It's just for some reason it bugs out sometimes, and we are fixing it at the moment with Luke's animations. Fucking made me jump. I believe that. Yeah, so this is inspired by the film like Sunshine, for example. This little scene. Is he chasing after me still? He should do, I think. Alright. Yeah, so you got this kind of cool little thing, and we're gonna add like an animation for the hand to come up and like block the sunlight in your face when you first enter the room, to be like sort of shocking to you. There's a little other little effects I'm doing here too. Like I might add like little like flames to the plants here. Yeah, it's kind of like a cool little scene. There is stuff outside, you just can't see it. It's really hard to see outside. But I'm thinking of adding like some extra effects on the outside of the ship to make it look like it's on fire a bit more. But yeah, because there is also solar flares happening like this, which cause the ship to like walk about and start fires, and fires will block your progress, and you have to like put the fires out if you want to keep walking around the ship freely. Oh, where is he? I hear him. No. I don't know, I'm just gonna run. Yeah, so there's a fire somewhere. We can put it out if we need to. Just grab a fire extinguisher from the wall. He's like, that music plays when he sees you, so that's concerning. Yeah, so there's fires here, for example, like, and the fires I can't walk through. The android can. So the fires get placed in the particular spots where it stops you from progressing in that room like easily. So like here, you'd want to take this route as the quickest route to the vent, but if fire obviously is stopping that. You can put it out. Obviously need to animate that, but you can put it all out like that. Yeah, there's more fires somewhere. Oh, yeah. I'm missing another one over here. I think it's stuck in the wall, that one. Let's drop that. Why can I crouch? Did I break the crouch? I must have broken the crouch. But you can crouch. I've been breaking things lately. But the big thing I'll show you is the mimic. Do it somewhere light so you can see it. Do you have any blockouts of the ship early online? Yeah, if you all the live streams I've done in the past, where I've been doing this every month, you can go back to the early ones. You'll see the blockouts and testing of that stuff going on there. Yeah, you can go back and see that easily. So yeah, as the mimic though, you have this ability wheel where you can like transform into the mimic or change your appearance to another character. So at the moment I look like, well, actually I don't know what, but will cost, I don't know if I have the energy to transform into these. Let's try. No, I don't think I do. No, I don't. So to get energy, you have to transform into the Mimic first. So you click on him, and then... Ah, the animation is broken. That's why the crouch didn't work. Okay, you should be animating that, but it's broken for some reason. But you tear your skin off, and you are now the Mimic. And as the Mimic, your job is a couple of things. You... in Mimic form, you are weaker. You only have 1 health bar, as you can see there. Your stamina bar's only got 1 on it. But you can do a few things. So first of all, you can eat corpses and players. So like for example, this guy over here, I can eat. I can animate that properly and camera stuff like that. But eat him, and I'll gain 1 energy. It'll tell me at the bottom when I've done it. There you go, gained 1 energy. And another guy over here. So you eat the corpses that you find around the ship, or players, either one. And once you've got enough energy, you can transform back into human form. But the main thing you want to do as the Mimic is you want to place eggs. Eggs make you able to survive your death. So when you get killed then, as a Mimic form, you can respawn at an egg. So you can keep surviving. So you get little bugs like this. So you can keep on living. So when players see you get killed or think you've been killed, you may not have actually been killed if they haven't found your egg. So the Mimic is like a little stealth gameplay where you want to like hide the egg in some places. But other players can destroy the egg. So now I should have enough energy to plant an egg. So let's put one here, for example. So I'm going to go to R, go to my egg, and I'm going to form it up as... that's animated, I just need to cut the camera, but I'll vomit out an egg. There it comes. There we go. Okay, there's the egg. Okay, now it cost me 3 energy. I can't remember if I made it actually take away energy though. So we'll soon find out if I can transform back into a human. No. So I need to get more energy. So let's go find some more corpses. I think there's 2 in medical I can take. There's no combat in the game either, so players can't fight back against the Mimic or the android. You just can't do it. So you have to run and hide. There's 1 energy. I'll reach that one. Oh, you can't reach that one. No, you've got to fix that. Just little things like that you have to test. It's really annoying. You have to go around and test little details like that. But yeah, there's another one over here. Oh wait. Oh yeah, I did. Oh, sorry. Fine. If the player votes someone to be killed, will that show the Mimic player where they are, or it's another Mimic? So when a player has been voted by their classmates, by their peers, the android will go straight to them. The android knows where you are, will come after you, and come after and attack you until it's been cleared, or someone else has been voted. So the idea is the android is going to be basically hunting someone down at all times. Oh yeah, so I can transform into human form. Got enough. So hold down R, and I can transform into Jesse. He says. Wait, broke it. Oh, yeah, well, we broke it probably. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, that's the game. That's essentially what it is. The agent has, as I said, has secret objectives. They have to get like reports and test samples and things like that, and also they have to make sure no one else can leave the ship. And when it comes to the ship launch, once it's ready to be launched, you go to this machine over here. You turn it on, and you get a countdown. I think it's 30 seconds. I think it was. And so you have to come out of here, run around, and get on the ship and wait. However, anyone can go up to the console and cancel the launch. So if you try to leave without people, they'll see the countdown happen and may want to try and cancel it so you can't get off the ship. So there's a thing you have to worry about there. So yeah, you win if you get off the ship. That's the main thing. But you lose if other people get off the ship for different reasons. Yeah, so there we go. We've got the ship here. It's called Icarus. And yeah. So most of the assets are from the marketplace, albeit some have been edited with modeling tools, like bits down here, for example. Texture's been edited as well, like this blue bit over here. Custom stencil work made in Photoshop, brought that in here. Custom widget design for UI over here. So lots of customized bits, bobs going into it. And there probably will be a lot more added as we get closer and closer to release. But for now, this will do for testing. Because the main thing we want to do now is test the game, make sure it A is fun and B runs well on most people's machines. It should do though. It should be it only uses 3, I think a maximum of 3 gigs of VRAM it'll use. So it's really cheap to run. Oh, hold on, Unreal's frozen. So it should run on most devices. But obviously you need to test it on that. Will you need any playtesters? Yes. So playtesting will be opened up in waves, as Jason has just said. Will be the first wave would be the top 2 tiers of Patreon, so that's Diamond and Platinum supporters. They'll get first wave, and then we'll go for the Gold tiers and then the Silver tier, and then finally the Bronze tier in different waves. The reason why you want to do waves when you're testing this stuff out is there is such a thing as too much data. You don't want to be like flooded with things that you just can't verify or check or fix. If everyone comes back to me with the same result saying, oh, this is broken, it kind of makes it hard for me to rule out what could cause the issues. So we test that in waves, and it'd be more organized sort of events, and it'd be more of a closed, semi-open beta for the majority of the year up to release. But environments will get overhauls a little bit, like a lot more decoration, texture work. We'll do some vertex painting in here to make it a bit nicer. Things like that. So there is stuff to be done. So as I said, one of the things I think I want to try and get done today is make it so you can choose your character on the launch of the game. So when you're in the lobby, you can pick what character you want to start as. Currently there's 3 in there. There is no, there's 3 set up already. And then I've got 3 female characters to introduce. I've got to just give them a different body shape, obviously, because they're female. But they're all metahumans, so they'll come in at different. There's like no different shapes and like sizes of them. But metahuman's great for this sort of thing. Word of note: if you are using metahuman for a game, make sure you are adding an LOD sync to your component list in your characters. I will show you as soon as Unreal stops being a dick about it. You have your LOD sync to make sure it doesn't ever go to the high poly LODs, because you don't need that running in your game. It's too much. LOD 1 or 2 would be fine. Just wait for Unreal to catch up. I say Unreal and Windows 11's been a right pig. Hi Ether, good to see you. Yeah. So there's lots of little design considerations. If you're interested in more about the design of stuff that's gone in and how and why things have been made, by all means, you can check out the previous devlogs, and you'll see that discussion happening and why we've done things the same way, or just various things like that. So do check them out if you're interested in that. But obviously, if you have any questions, feel free. Feel free to ask. Oh my god, Unreal. Windows 11, Unreal, there we go. Right, I'm going to get out of this room and go to lobby. Menus, lobby. Lovely map. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So we've got to add a character selection menu to this thing. So this is what the UI looks like for the lobby screen so far. Are you gonna get any more hot bob? Yeah, there's more. Coming. They're up to episode 23 currently. And there's a few other things to come for that sort of stuff. But yeah, they're coming. Fell behind a lot of recordings lately because of various issues. I had to go to hospital before with my son. I've been ill this past week, and yeah, just absolute normal Christmas stuff, you know, gets in the way of stuff. So yeah, apologies, bit behind on recordings. Need to catch up. Hoping to do a load this week for over the Christmas break. Oh, it's frozen again. God damn it. Yeah, so somewhere in here I've got to put in some UI for us to change the thing. So probably just be another button over here where we can choose who we're playing as. And they are going to be unique options. So for example, you can't both be Jesse. Okay, one person can be Jesse, another person has to be something else. So there is going to be a limit to that there. And because it's MetaHuman, we can always do some fun things like scan people and put them in there. Or try and recreate people like famous faces and things like that if we need to. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now, Drib. Thank you. But yeah, it's been a hell of a couple of weeks. Yeah, my son's doing a lot better as well. Thank you. Oh, come on. Hola, cartel. I don't speak Spanish. Thank you. I'm gonna guess that means thank you for many videos. I love this the series of spawning enemies. Wait, the wave system. No, apologies, Max. Yeah, here we go. So you can, yeah. So over here, I'm thinking maybe something down here. Maybe choose a character or something, or maybe at the top here, choose character. I don't know. We'll figure that one out. Okay, so a great resource, by the way, to use if you ever get stuck about what you should do for your UI and things like that, is to go to a website called the Game UI Database. If you don't know about it already, it is a website where you can view the UI of many games. And so it's a great place to get inspiration, get ideas, and do sort of things like that. So, well, I brought up Dead Daylight. I've looked at it quite a lot of their, see what they've done for their UI. Being a horror game, multiplayer horror game. I've been looking at trying to figure out how to lay things out a bit more. Apps, been looking at this, been looking at sci-fi games, looking at other things too. But you can just search up here like character selector, for example, character select, and click on that screen type there, and it'll give me the character select screen for many types of games. So you can see what kind of styles they've all chosen and go for which one you think might be best, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. It's a great resource. It's free. Do check it out. Ed Coates, who designed it and looks after it, has done an amazing job. So yeah, if you want to check it out and give them all the support, please do. So for example, here's the Dead by Daylight solution, which was something I was gonna do anyway. It's sort of like a grid of faces that you can like pick from. That may be the best route, as it's probably the least expensive to do. You know, the characters won't be unique in their stats or anything like that. They'll be just what they are. It's just a visual thing. So yeah, it's just like we just need just a picture. Really, don't really need stats or anything like that. But yeah, what's this one like? Yeah, again with another like slot based one. So I think that's what we were looking at doing, is little slots like for character faces. But it's a great website. Do check it out. Yeah, done a good job on it. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go for this sort of style of the portraits lined up inside a scroll box. So we're gonna look at recreating that. So I'm gonna go to my UI folder, and we keep it organized into my lobbies folder, which is the menus. Unreal. Come on. You can do it. Thank you, Mesh. Thank you. I'm glad to hear I'm helpful. As I say, we've got there are lots of really cool, interesting plans to do in 2024, including the internship, that thing I was talking about earlier. But definitely want to do a lot more interesting things to help people get into industry and getting their games out there. So there's lots of work in place to just get going with that. Trying to be as helpful as possible to everyone who wants to get into games. And everyone who else is currently in games and wants to just broaden their horizons a little bit. So sort of championing it as best as I can. Yeah, ask a question, Dribbler, if you want. While Unreal panics about me opening menus. And execute on owning client. Mm-hmm. Let's put music back on. No. It's all freezing. I have a widget which is shown on server to create and interact with X. In general, by the way, for everyone, when it comes to widgets, if you're adding the widget to a viewport, you can't replicate it because that viewport is local to only to you. So you can't replicate those sort of widgets. So bear that in mind. Yeah, the server sees it because, yeah, you're telling the server to add it to the thing. Execute an owning client, you have to tell everyone to add interact to the thing. I thought execute on the owning client would be on its local client only. It depends on who owns the object you're trying to trigger it. For example, your if it's a player character, that's owned by a controller, so that's okay doing it on a character. But if you're doing an object, for example, objects in your scene are by default held and owned by the server. So if you're trying to execute an owning client on, say, an object in the scene, it's going to add it onto the server only. So you'll see in my videos that I've done with like inventory system, when you interact with like a chest, I switch the ownership over to whoever's interacting with it. This game does the same thing. It'll, if you interact with something, it switches ownership to it, whoever's owning it, whoever's interacting with it. So that then when they do stuff, we can refer to it a lot easier. Nice one, Will, to introduce these breaks of questions. I know, right? Don't know what it is. Lately, it's been a right pig. Unreal, and well, I think more Windows 11 just in general. It sucks. I hate it. Can I ask about white boxing this game? How many hours did it take you? White boxing. I cannot remember how long it took me to do it. Also, you kind of have to understand that I haven't been working on this full time, so it's hard to equate. It's literally when I get free time to on live streams like this, I can get into it. So the white boxing probably took about a month or two, part time, and then I spent the rest of the year putting the assets in. I wasn't gonna give it in white box for the longest time period, but being my first horror game, I wanted to make sure that the environment was scary enough, and so I thought, well, we can't really do anything without the testing for horror and scares and without the environment showcasing that. So that was a big thing to get right. Oh my god, what is it doing? AJ, yes, good. I can see you. Depending on whether you can simplify it with Rep Notify. Yes, a Rep Notify is much more efficient than a multicast. So if you are multicasting a variable to be changed, you could probably do quite a lot more work on it being a Rep Notify. This is something we did in, I think, the last Mimic dev stream. We've done a lot of optimization things. Might be the one before that. Can't remember. Oh, this bloody thing. So yeah, try to make it Rep Notify if you can. There's lots of other things you can do to help improve optimization for multiplayer games, such as putting things to sleep and waking them up when you need to. We do that in this game. So you're not always... This is ridiculous. Why can't I do that? Can make the game from online for multiplayer? Is there another way other than renting a server for online game? Yeah, so Mesh. This game isn't really using a server. It uses the player as a server. So the cheap standard model used by most indie gamers, game developers, is the client server model, where the client is also a server. This is a lot cheaper. It's free, but it does obviously have some drawbacks, such as like lag between clients isn't always the same. There'd be a host advantage, and a few other like security things like that. But obviously, it's cheapest. Dedicated servers are expensive to run, so only do that if you have the money to do so. So yeah. AJ, yeah, all that. It's just Windows 11 sucks. Okay. Do you have the monster? Yeah, we have the monster. But he tears off at the back of the character, so he tears off the skin and pulls the skin out. Show it again at the end. People like watching that one. Right. Yes, widget. So this will be, so when I'm building a widget like this, you build it in parts. So the first part is going to be the container for the whole thing. So it'll be like player, character select, we'll call it, sorry. Character select. And then I'll make individual slots for each character. Any tips on optimizing games in UE5? Yeah, so even though UE5 has all the nice bells and whistles such as Nanite, Lumen, and everything else in between, you don't need to have them if you don't need them. So some games won't be beneficial with those on. So for example, Mimic has not got Nanite, has not got Lumen turned on, with baking lighting as standard. And the reason why was because most of the lighting is static; it doesn't move. So a baked lighting system would be just fine. The same with reflections. We're not using Lumen for reflections, we're using screen space. It doesn't show much different, it was working just fine, so it's a lot cheaper to do screen space resolution. It'd probably make it even cheaper by using screen reflection captures if we went to instead. So when they're working on UE5 or any engine really, don't feel pressured into fit like you have to use all the bells and whistles, because they're not always for you, depending on your game. You don't need that. So don't be afraid to cut things out that you don't need. When it comes to optimization, there's a few basic things you can do. Most of the time, your optimization is going to come from your models and your rendering pipeline, less so about the actual code side of things. That's where you're going to get the most gains from if you improve the rendering. So some basic tips that I did with Mimic that will help you out is, for example, walls and floors. Just turn off shadows. You don't need it. There's nothing. You can't see behind the walls. You can't see behind the floors. So turn off shadows. In fact, anything that you feel like you don't need a shadow for, make sure you turn it off. It's turned on by default, so you do have to go around and turn them all off if you need to. But that helped out massively. If you can do that, that helps out a lot. Likewise as well, a lot of the packs you get from the asset store are going to be in 4K resolution. 4K resolution for textures is way too high. You don't need 4K resolution. So go around turning texture sizes down, and you can do that inside the texture. Just open it up and go down to or search for max texture size and just type in the texture size. Just make sure it's a power of 2 still, like a 1024 or whatever. Yeah, you don't need 4K textures. Don't think you do. You can have a 4K game without 4K textures. It's kind of crazy. And there's lots of little things like that can help with this. Like MetaHuman, for example. When you bring a MetaHuman, they even have like high resolution reflection maps for the irises, the eyes. Which I'm like, well, no one ever wants that, so I just got rid of it. So it's just going through and just cutting things like that you don't need out. It really does help. Like there was a whole like 4K textures for like really crazy small things. Like I don't need 4K for that. I've done like 64 by 64 in some cases. So yeah, you just go through all your textures, and I've done a live stream about that when I showed some tools off to help you with that. Have a look at that. I think it was two episodes ago of the Mimic live streams. Okay, character slots. So how I'm going to manage the character slot as well is I want to sort of bundle together the thumbnail that I've got for the character, the name, and the actual class it's going to be spawning in. So I'm going to do it with a data asset. So let's bring that in here. Oh, for God's sake, every time. Is it true? Super temples? I don't know actually. I ain't got a clue. I think it is. It is usually the ones that comes up problematic when you test for it, but ultimately not a big problem for me at least. How do you price the copy of a game per game? Is there a calculation, or do you just put it randomly? It's not. It depends on a few things. And depends on who you're working for. So, let me just make the data asset first before Unreal lets me. So the pricing of a game usually comes from the publisher side of things. So I'm thinking about how to recoup losses. So if a game has cost a certain amount of money over a certain amount of years, how much does it have to make back, and how many copies does it have to sell? And you usually use that to calculate what you want to do. Within reason, obviously, don't want to go crazy with it. But for indie games, it's a little bit trickier because obviously we could set our own prices. And usually our budget of the game being made has been just our free time. So it's how much you want to value your time. But in Mimic's case, it's been like almost purposeful of what we've done with the pricing. So the Mimic is currently going to cost $10 per copy. And the reason why it's going to be $10 per copy is because the game is 5 players multiplayer. And let's say I've discovered the game. And I want my friends to play with me. If they can't afford the $10, but I can afford a copy of one full price game, I can spend $50 and gift them the game. So the price of one game, I can get out to 5 people and play the game. It's not like, because it's a multiplayer game, I don't want people to have a large barrier of entry. I don't want people to think like they can't play the game because they can't afford to. So this is why games like Among Us, for example, do very well, because it's very cheap. And that's what we're going to go for in this game too, is that cheap entry so you can get into it and play it. So yes, we'll be selling it for about $10 per copy. There's no microtransactions in the game. It's just you bought it. That's it. So it should work out pretty well for people. Shouldn't feel like predatory for people. It should be like okay to get in. And it also had to be enough for people to want to be curious about it. There's a price point for most people where it is like, if they're curious about a game, they'll try it out no matter how much it costs. But if there's a price point, that will cause that to not be the case. So it is a matter of balancing to find that out. And it just felt more like $10. I've been advised that it could go for 20, but I think 10 would be a fairer and more attractive proposition. Obviously, the idea you could do is like 20 and go down to 10 for sales, but I'm more likely to go to 10 and then go down to like 5 or 7 for sales later on. So that's how I'm calculating it. Oh, Unreal's really pissing me off. Will it have solo play mode, or will it be only multiplayer? Only multiplayer at the moment, anyway. There are some sort of plans to do some single player-esque stuff, but it's not going to be in the game at all at launch. So we're kind of seeing where things go with that. But at the moment, yeah, it's multiplayer only. And it's just one map at the moment. There are plans for other maps. So if the game does well enough, it will be able to hire people to help build the other maps. That's a bit more unique in assets. For example, the second map is designed to be on a ice planet. And each map will have its own sort of unique challenges to it, and unique enemy types. It won't be just the same thing in different like skins. It'll be something unique about the maps each time. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. I have to wait for it to kick in. yeah. So there are plans for that. So yes, I'd say the second map is planned to be an Arctic map, with contend with a blizzard. So when it involves you traveling outside in open air for like a bit. And you got to like navigate through a blizzard and get cold and frostbite and things like that. And it'd be more about like trying to restore out buildings on and get deeper and deeper into the map and find out more about the history of the game as well. The third map I've got on my list to do is a derelict space station. So it would go back into space, but this time the space station would take advantage of using things like anti-gravity and doing spacewalks to help with it feeling like scary in that sense. So the scary part would be going out into these big voids and thinking, oh my god, I could get just lost in space here. And yeah, involves a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Right, yeah, so we need a character name. And that'd be a text field. I guess it'd be similar to DBD if you can queue a solo player. Yeah, you can. Yeah, queue a solo. So you can queue solo. You can also queue with your friends. So you can make a like half party and then queue for random matches that way. And you also do a custom game lobby. And in custom game lobbies, you can change the rule set if you want to. And that's very much designed with streamers in mind, people who want to play the game on Twitch streams. So if you want to do some crazy rule sets, you can do. So, for example, you may want to, say, turn off all the fire extinguishers. So if a fire breaks, that's it. It's there for good. You can't change it. You can also change the number of androids, for example. And, you know, things like that. We can really mess about with things to really make the game a bit more chaotic, a bit more different. And that would do well for, like, people who are streaming the game or doing YouTube videos about the game. It helped with that matter. As well as the built-in Twitch support that the Twitch chat can jump into as well. Oh my god. Majority of assets all came from the Unreal store. There's about a dozen different packs sort of kit bashed together. Yeah. If the game does well on Twitch, would you consider working with crowd control to enable even more shenanigans? So yeah, the idea is with Twitch chat, at start is to just have it so they can vote and do community voting on which character should be chased by the android. And they can add to it, all that stuff. But yeah. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Unreal. What is my computer doing? Why is the hard drive this doing like 100%? That's nuts. Why is it doing that? Ugh. I might have to try and get the maybe a UE restart. It could well be needed for that. Although I've run out of time. We have got nothing done. You know, we've answered some questions. So that's a bit. Yeah, so as I was saying with the community voting, the way it works currently in design is that every like I think it's 10 every so many seconds or whatever long, people's votes get pulled in, and whoever has the most votes will add a ballot to one of the characters or one of the players in the game. So you can all vote for a particular person if you want and sway it. And that happens all the time, and it goes on a cycle. So after a certain amount of time, you place with 3 votes. The 4th vote will take away the first vote and replace it back in. So there's always going to be 3 votes coming from the community. That might change to be like 6 or something like that. Add change the weighting to it, or we can make that a custom rule set that you can change. We'll see. But yeah, so the community can vote and cause a bit of chaos that way too. But we can easily add in other things in it too, to mess about the player. There's been thoughts about, okay, what if the Twitch chat could influence, say, the solar flares, for example, when they should happen. Right, there we go. You know, things like that. Class, that'd be a first person character. I'm not too sure which one it is now. I think it's this one. Class reference. Yeah, if I compile it, I'll be able to tell. Yeah, thanks, Dribbler. Thanks for coming by. Can you downgrade your Windows to 10? I could do. Could try doing that at some point. But it just seems like so sluggish. I don't know why it's so bad. Like this. I think it's the hard drive more than anything, actually. The hard drive is saying it's at that failure point. Maybe I need to like sort that out. Yeah, we'll see. One part. Hi, hey, how you doing? How do you make more important interactables stick out a little more than other items in the area besides just highlighting? Do you do anything? The only thing I've done so far is to put them more in the eye line of the character, so they're not hidden. They're not out of the way. They are plentiful and they're like in your eye line. That's the main thing. So like all the fire extinguishers, for example, are up on the wall about your height, so you can easily see them. Do you have anything else eating up CPU use? No. Just that's the streaming things. That's the only thing that's running. I don't think it's CPU. I think it's going to be the hard drive doing crazy stuff. Let's try to do. I don't know. But all I've got open is Unreal and Stream and Spotify. That's about it. But this is like annoying. I think OneDrive might be affecting it because at the moment this backs up to OneDrive, so I think OneDrive might be trying to back up at the same time I'm using it, and that may be causing some issue. But I can't. It won't let me. Windows 11 won't let me right click on OneDrive and close it for a second. Oh, yeah. Let's pause that sync in there. Oh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, it should see. Yeah, this is really ridiculous. Stop. OneDrive, stop. Did I use GameKit in this project? Oh, I have. No, not in this, but this one's all from Unreal. Using the source control from 5.1. Not source control. Source code from 5.1. Bloody thing. OneDrive, stop. Do you have a schedule for your stream? I want to be there for each one of your live streams. So yeah, so barring any like illnesses and other things, I stream on Wednesdays for question time. So answering people's questions live on there for game dev stuff and Unreal stuff about anything. And then every Saturday we'll do a live stream. It's themed. So every week we do a different thing. So last week we done a Let's Create looking at Zelda bosses. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that one. I had a good fun on that one. And this night was obviously Mimic. And we come up to Christmas, so if you don't know, at Christmas time, I generally do a cash giveaway sort of quiz show for a bit of fun. So we can tune in live. It won't be next week, but it'll be the week after. Next weekend, though, I don't know what we'll do next weekend. What would you like to do next weekend? By the way, patrons, if you are a Patreon member and you have yet to vote, you can vote on next year's retro remake. So I think currently the vote is at let me look. Over here. Let's have a look at what one's winning at the moment. So what I did in the month of November, I asked people on Patreon to just submit a list of games they want to see made for retro remake, and we'll vote for whichever one, and we'll put the top ones in the vote poll for December. And currently, so the 4 that were in for choice, it'd be interesting to see what people want in this one. So we've got A Day of the Tentacle, which is in the lead at the moment. So like point and click adventure game. People want to see that being made. Banjo-Kazooie, a 3D platformer game. Twisted Metal with a car combat game, or Bubble Bobble, an arcade game. So at the moment we've got Day of the Tentacle type game, like point and click adventure game, way out in front. But if you still want to vote, you can still vote. Patreon members, there's only 47 votes, so plenty of people to vote. And this goes on until the end of the year. But yeah, so far I'll be Day of the Tentacle. Let's go. An animation stream. Yeah, we should do, yeah. I think I'm going to try and do some more Niagara stuff as well, I think, stream-wise. Like, I feel like there's opportunity for people to actually learn Niagara's a little bit better. So, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, this is the right one. So, we've got Jesse, Nassim, and Omar as the 3 male characters in there so far. And this one needs a portrait. And that'll be a texture 2D. Yeah, he may be a bit butthurt, I see. Actually, there will be some animation stuff coming some point soon. I've had someone ask if I can do a collaboration with them. They are character artists, and they wanted me to do a series of videos or streams about animating the character and setting them up for actual use in Unreal Engine. So that could be a thing that we do animation stuff on. Well, it will be a thing we do animation stuff on soon. Just getting around to getting it all sorted out, really. Oh my god, this isn't painful. What's my hard drive doing? So you've got, they're not full, so I shouldn't really run out of cache drive space, so it's just being an absolute pig. But yeah. And exporting for Unreal is something I get a bunch of questions on too. I think people may be growing out of Mixamo. Yeah, probably. Yeah, exporting out of it is pretty cool. There's also like really cool things that people don't really realize, like the whole retargeting stuff. There's quite some neat tricks in it. That I was doing for a class this week. Because you don't know, I do like one-to-one private sessions as well for people. And I was doing one showing people how to easily add any character they want to the advanced locomotion system. So you don't have to worry about any other work. You can just swap out your character into it and it'll work right out of the box. That worked really well. Yeah, Windows 11 is... I haven't met one person that liked Windows 11. It's just so... like, I've had Explorer, so not Windows, like Explorer, the main operating system functionality, just crash and have to restart numerous times. Just before I went live today, it crashed and I had to restart it. I just don't get why. It's just so poorly. I don't know why it's so different. Yeah, I wouldn't upgrade if I were you. It's 2 minutes out of 10. Oh dear. This thing is not working, is it? Ah, it's not gonna work. God damn it. Again, the hard drive is just being used 100% of the time. Read, write speed, capacity, yeah. Right, that's a crazy response time. Yeah, it's pixelating the stream, is it? Yeah. It's really, like I say, it's shockingly bad. So CPU is fine, GPU is fine, memory is fine. It's just this hard drive. I mean, that's where the project's reading and writing from, so yeah. Yeah. Look, he wants to try and auto save. I've literally got nothing else running. It's just like response time. Look, it's at 2500 milliseconds. Look at this craziness. Why is it that high? So dumb. Nuts. It's pointless. I'm gonna have to end the stream because this is not worth it. I'll work out a better way of doing this. Turn my computer off for a day and let's let it rest for a second. But I'm doing. I clicked the wrong button. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming by. Sorry we didn't get much to show tonight. Yeah, it is nuts. That is all its problems from this. I might see if I can try moving it over to the SSD. It's a big file size though. I've got to make sure there's space for it. But yeah. Only with cloud versus local files. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be doing stuff like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can if I can't do actually work. But thank you very much, everyone, for coming by. And thank you for those who have wishlisted the game already. If you've yet to wishlist it, please do. It costs you nothing to wishlist it. It really does help out a massive amount, especially when I go to pitch the game later on. Things like GDC and domestic investor events, things like that. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for your time tonight. We're hopefully back live again on Wednesday for question time, and we'll do a live stream next week. I don't know what though. What would you guys like? What do you want to do next week? Free choice for you. What do you want to do? Do you want to just hang out and just chat, or do you want me to teach you something? I don't know, whatever you want. What would you like to do next Saturday? So we try and remake the day before and see if we can do it better. I can't do it in one day. That's fine, but yeah. Can you teach us white boxing? Yeah, I've done a lot of white boxing videos pre-stream, so I can do more than that if you want. I've lots of questions. So can I pre-ask them in Discord? Yeah, so if you got a question time queue jump in Discord, you can go in there and add your question into the question time queue jump as a preparation for Wednesday. So if you're a Patreon member, you can do that. I mean, I could do more white boxing stuff, more level design stuff if you want. We did some early this year as well. Grey, they call it. It's called everything. AJ, it's called everything. Grey boxing, white boxing, block out. It's everything under the sun. It could be anything. Everyone calls it something different. I personally call it block out. But yeah. Need to add wishlist. I do need to update the wishlist description thing in here. Let me get it up and just post it again, because I keep forgetting to do so. I've also been working on a website for this as well. I'll show you that. Hang on. Where's the thing? So I've been working on a website as well for Mimic. So adding bits to it as I go. It's just me doing it all, so it's a pain. But yeah, so this is where it reads the blog pages. It reads that from there and puts it in the game. Gallery stuff. We've got the trailer in there. But yeah, we can go into game there. I scroll down here. Got wish list on Steam. Yeah, sure. I'm no, yeah. Okay. There's a Steam page. Put it in the browser. And you can wish this on Epic as well. It's on Epic Store too. Currently, the beta will be on Epic Store. Just because that's what I'll be working with most of the time. So feel free to wish list it there. Did you create the characters in the game, or did someone else create it? So they're all metahumans. So I just went into metahuman and took it from there. The mimic creature is from the asset store. Tweaked some of the texture work on him. And his animations have got some custom animations in there. Thanks to AJ, who done my animations, and also a friend of mine, Luke, as you know from the channel. He's done some animations as well, and there'll be a few more being done over time too. So shout out to AJ for his vomiting animation. Let's actually shut it off because I don't think people have actually seen it yet. Let me go to my dev map. Do. So as a reminder, I'll show you the animation for the mimics being spawned. So the mimic spawning looks like this. Yeah, so we've got to add a bit more gore to it and blood and guts and things, but that's what it looks like. So and then the vomiting thing, I haven't got on actually the right camera perspective for it yet, but if I go into this one, yeah. And then if I just go to simulate, oh, what am I doing? Ah, thanks. It's fine. It'll loop. I won't do that. Go back. Oh god, hang on. We won't. We do viewport and just. Yeah, so the vomiting looks like that. Wait for it to come up. In game though, it will change. So I've added some visual effects to it. He actually spawns the egg underneath him, and it all comes up. So if you want to see that actually in game, like from that perspective. So we'll do through the camera cut, where it cuts to an outside camera, like it does when you spawn out. So you just turn to mimic first of all. And then eat a few fools. Eat some corpses. Oh, cheers, AJ. Yeah, cool. Okay, so there's my energy. So I can now go into here, I can lay an egg. And so it animates in first person animation. And the egg spawns in. And then it spreads. So the egg actually spreads around. Like you actually see it like spread its influence about. If you see it lucky enough. Give it a second. Where are you? It may not do it too well because obviously we're in open space here, so it's got to hit the floor, which is random. And by the way, eating corpses, you can re-eat the same corpse after about a minute. You have to wait, so I can't eat that one just yet. Yeah. I can eat this guy over here though. Gained 1 energy. Didn't put a limit on him, so I can test this out like that. Yeah, so I can revert back to human form. And I can transform into other characters. Pretty neat. And it also has a morph on it, the transformation, so they're like their skin stretches and things like that. Obviously, there's a lot more work done to it. Well, it's getting there. So this is my dev map. If you're making a game, make a dev map. Basically, you just make an empty map, and you just fill it with all the stuff you can interact with in your game. Put in things for platforming if you've got platforming. My game doesn't really have it, so I don't have to worry about it. But it allows you to test certain things out in a very short space. You don't have to worry about making the whole map and going through the whole map to test it. So yeah, do recommend doing that. What's this thing? Oh, it's for the ship. Okay. Yeah. So let's place the egg thing naturally in the world. Let's see what happens here. Egg. I'll just put another thing on this. And so you'll see what happens to the egg. The egg spreads out all over the place. And that's the reason for that is because the mimic's going to hide the egg to try and protect it. Over time, it'll be more obvious where the egg is. And so the other hints includes like this particle field, for example, tells the player that the egg is near. And so they go looking for it. So there's the egg. Oh, there you go, it's growing. Just click through the level, but yeah. That's a nice sloshy sound when you walk on it. Are you using vertex colouring? We will be, yeah, for some stuff, but not at the moment. There's not much. At the moment, one thing we do for the mimic creature is that he, like if you notice, he starts off red, indicate that he's covered in blood, and then he fades out to like his grey. Yeah, so that's going to keep growing. Over time, it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And we'll spread out more. There we go, another bit over here. And so, yeah, it will spread out across the ship. It only does it like some amount of times and it stops. But, yeah, that's what happens there. I think I just need to eat one of these. Like a corruption, yeah, it's like a corruption system. Is the ship drivable? Yeah, the ship is drivable, but you won't be able to drive it in game. It just gets in, animates, and takes off. Yeah, so if you go so, I need one more. You guys make an animation inside the engine or software. So most of the animations have been made in like Maya. I've done some of the animation work as well in Unreal. Like fine tuning for tweaking things. Like for example, when the characters pick up stuff, like the boxes here. I wonder if I can actually show this. I don't know if it works. I've been animating his hands out to look like they're holding it a bit better. So, what did I get this working on? I think I've got it working on this. So if I do F8. Oh no, it went that one. It must be the fire extinguisher. But you see that his arms are held out. That default pose is from the fire extinguisher then. Just make it look a bit more like he's actually holding it, because the way you got to hold it in first person is different from actually holding it in third person. Because in first person, I want to be able to see what I'm holding, but it may not be realistic enough to hold it like that in third person. So there's actually two positions you see it being held. So that, see, this one's being held like this in first person, and then when I come out and go into third person, I need to actually see. No, it won't work. I need to shoot it in 2-player mode. You'll see it's being held in the correct format for that people. Yeah, no, do it. Right. Why can't I close that now? Bloody game. Why can't I close it? Close it on this one. As I said, I've been doing some weird fixes trying to get matchmaking working, so I must have busted something. It's the usual thing, you fix one thing, you break 10 others. Ugh. Alright, something's going weird there. But basically the animation changes the whole thing correctly in third person. So when you're walking around and see other people holding it, it doesn't look like it's floating. Yeah, are you having other players see a different scale from what the local player sees? They seem useful, especially in the FP game. Yeah, it is. There's two separate things. So the first person character doesn't actually have a visible mesh, but they are holding it in a very particular way because they have to see it. But in third person, we're attaching it in different ways. So when we pick up an item, there's two pickups happening. One is a client side pickup, and one's a server side. One is a owner side pickup. So if the owner picks it up, it will look like it is in first person. But in other people's viewpoints, it looks like they're holding it like more naturally. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a pain in the butt, but yeah, it's the only way you really do it. Yeah. But yeah, there's Mimic. But I say, we'll end it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. Be sure to wish us the game. And be sure to let us know what you'd like to see next week. We do more level design stuff for white box and stuff for a bit of fun. Can do if you want. Could be a particular mechanic you want me to try and make live, or I can actually try and get something working in this and actually get Windows 11 to actually play ball, and then we do it live with you. That'd be great. But I mean, I'm hoping I was hoping to get this playable so people can jump in and play it and we can play it live on stream. But I don't think that's going to be the case. It looks like it'll be a January time. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. Do keep an eye out for updates coming along in the future. We'll be doing some big things in 2024, and I can't wait to share them with you. As I said, the goal for 2024 is trying to help the community more to get into the games industry, and those who are already in the industry, just trying to help them out more and lightening their load and helping them out. So doing a lot more trying with those people we need to try and get them where they need to go. Especially for you, if you are a game development student or just new to game development and you want to get into work in the industry, we're going to try our best to try and get you into the right place by giving the best advice possible. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. Once again, if you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley, where you can support the channel for just $1 a month to get access to all our videos early, the creator challenge, and many other things as well. As as part of the subscription. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you all on next stream. Good night, everyone.